You want to make it clear to the employer that you know your weaknesses, but you also want to communicate that you're always making forward progress on improving in that area because you know it's important for the role you serve in. Welcome to the Workforce Link podcast, where we're offering forward-thinking conversations for the workforce, linking employers and job seekers to a brighter tomorrow. I'm your host, Sunday Jo Graham with the Central Workforce Development Region, and I am glad to be back with you for another episode today. You know, one of the most common interview questions that we hear, as well as one of the most uncomfortable, is what is your biggest weakness? You know, it kind of seems counterintuitive, doesn't it? The employer wants you to impress them with how awesome you are and why they should hire you. But then they throw a wrench in the game and they ask you to tell them what's wrong with you. So, can you be confident in your interview and be confident in talking about your weaknesses? The answer is yes, and we're going to talk about that in today's quick episode of the Workforce Link podcast. Again, it's going to be quick. We don't have a lot to cover, just one simple thing: how to talk about our weaknesses with confidence. Before we dive into today's episode, though, I would love to ask if you'd head over, give us a review when you're done listening, preferably a 5-star. And we would love for you to share this podcast with your friends and your coworkers. The more you share, the more people hear about us and the more people we get to help. So thank you in advance for that. All right, now let's dive into today's episode on how to answer the what's your biggest weakness question in a job interview. So here's the thing. The chances of an employer asking you this question is extremely high. So don't go into the job interview surprised, okay? Be prepared ahead of time with your answer. But make sure you're prepared with the real answer, like not what you think they want to hear. You know, when you do that, it is an automatic red flag. We actually talked about some red flags in a previous episode. I think it was episode 26. It was five red flags to avoid in a job interview. And in case you're driving or you're typing 96 words per minute, I will share the link to that in the show notes, but I'm pretty sure it's episode 26. And I would add this: be prepared for more than one weakness. Many times the employer is going to ask you to tell them 3 weaknesses and 3 strengths. So if you only show up with 1 and you're stammering to come up with 2 more, guess what? You're not going to show confidence. So I promise you can come up with 3 weaknesses and you can come up with 3 strengths, and don't do it on the spot, okay? And when I say don't say what you think they want to hear, I mean don't say things like working too hard or being a perfectionist, right? These are so overused and they're boring, okay? Instead, try to focus on something that you're trying to get better at. So I'll give you an example of my own. I struggle to ask for help. I get this idea in my head that I can handle it all by myself. By the time I ask for help, I'm way too overwhelmed. But I would like to note that I've gotten way better at asking for help. But what does that say about me? Well, it says I don't always ask for help when I need it, right? But I'm confident enough to admit it. So I'm not going to go into the interview trying to sweep my struggles under the rug, right? But embracing the reality of my imperfections. You want to make it clear to the employer that you know your weaknesses, but you also want to communicate that you're always making forward progress on improving in that area because you know that it is important for the role that you serve in, okay? And you don't have to spend a lot of time here. You don't have to give a long explanation for your answer. Just be straightforward about it, okay? Keep it simple. And remember to end it on a positive note. You know, here's where I struggle, but hey, here's what I'm doing about it, okay? That speaks confidence, and that's the exact message that you want to give to the employer, okay? All of our weaknesses can be used as opportunities to grow both professionally and personally. Okay, I know I said today's episode was going to be quick, and I meant it. I'm pretty sure we broke a record here. But I hope that it was helpful in giving you a boost of confidence as you prepare for your next job interview. Remember, don't be afraid to answer this question, okay? Don't go into the interview surprised, because I can almost guarantee that that is going to happen. You're going to be asked this question, okay? You got this, okay? You can do this. And if you're not quite sure what career that you're wanting to pursue, guess what? That's okay too. You don't have to know it all today. And our Central Missouri Job Centers would love to help you find your next career pathway, to help you figure out what you want to be, as I say, when you grow up. We can help you with hands-on experience, on-the-job training, even paid apprenticeships. If you have little or no past work experiences, guess what? That's okay too. We can help put you in touch with the right employer to give you the training that you need. You can learn more about our work-based learning programs at cwdregion.com/learning. And if you need some help preparing for your next job interview, maybe practicing interview questions, our Job Center staff would love to help. You can find the Job Center closest to you at cwdregion.com/jobcenters. That's cwdregion.com/jobcenters. And don't worry, if you can't write those links down, I will share them with you in the show notes. All right, that is it for today's quick episode. Have a great week, my friend, and we will meet again in the next episode. Until then, remember this: there's always a brighter tomorrow if you're willing to find it. The Central Region Workforce Development Board Incorporated and COPIC are equal opportunity employers and programs. Auxiliary aids and services are available upon request to individuals with disabilities. Missouri Relay Services at 711.